Hello everybody. I'm out here working on this Honda again. These winter projects. What I'm going to do is remove this thing. And I've got me some 3-inch PVC. This is schedule 20, the thin stuff. And some couplings. Now this stuff is, I'll show you here. This is 3-inch outside diameter. This is 3-inch inside diameter. So you see my issue here. It goes over top of it. Alright. Well, I made this. Got a piece of 3-inch exhaust pipe. And at the exhaust shop, they swell it up to where it'll fit over top of itself. So it'll fit over top of 3-inch. Okay. I've done got one piece made here already, a 90. Fit perfect in there. And you heat it up. Warm it up till it starts going down in there. And I pushed it all the way down in there. See where they flared it out? There's a hump right there. That's the original shape. You got that hump, and I actually shoved this down in there past that hump, and it took the shape of that hump. Well, it's hard to get it back out, but it took the shape of this in here a whole lot better and fits real tight. Goes in there, it's in there like it was made for it. Now I'll start piecing these 3-inch. See, these are all 3-inch diameter inside. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna cut me a hole right here. I ain't going out the vent. And I've got this in the bed, so I can't come out right here, which would be nice to come out that spot right there. I guess I'm gonna do the deed. I'm gonna come out right here. I've done got some tape on it, trying to protect the paint. I'll set this up here like this, trace around it, cut my hole out. It'll stick straight up. And I've got this. It's gonna sit here. And that's going to be my main filter. It's a pre-filter, you know, while I'm setting this up. I put a K&N washable filter, high flowing filter inside the air box. And hope to never go back in there after it. Just leave it. And this is going to be the one I'm going to clean all the time. You just loosen it with a screwdriver, pull it off, wash it with soap and water, put the oil back in it, stick it right back on. You're good to go. You can clean it every time you go riding if you wanted to. You can actually buy 2 and have one clean and just swap it out. Now some guys will take a cover and put a cover over it, or one of those water screens, those skins, water skins, and that would work good too if it got mud on it. You can just pull that off and wash it, stick it right back on it. That's going to be my doings. I ain't worried about putting it way up in here or over like that. Just as long as she sticks up like that. Them guys is running in the desert with the turbos, Jackson turbo kits, and this is what they run. No air box in this. So I figured it was good enough for me. I'll give you an update later. Alright guys, got an update. And this is what I've done. Run that blade out about like that, one of these knives right here. And I took my heat gun and heated up the tip of that blade. It's real good and hot. So I traced this out like this right here on that masking tape. Like it right there. The big end, not the little end. And then I heated that blade up. And I went right around the pencil mark. When it'd cool off, it'd get hard to cut, and I'd stop and warm it back up. And it cut this stuff. It cut it like it was paper. And now I've got it to where the regular size will just fit in it. And you get a piece of tubing, black tubing, and split it and poke it around this. Put a little glue, a little shoe glue, 606 glue, something like that, maybe you put in it. And push it on there and stick that pipe in there, and then now you got that rubber covering your cut edge. It's like a piece of trim, and it's holding your plastic in place. So there's my hole. Whew. I'm making one now. I got a hole cut my Honda. Updates later. Well guys, here's my mock-up. Now I've just got that setting on there. I've got to shrink this down to where it'll fit in that. But I set that up there just like that to check my straight up down, how it looks sticking out of the machine. See, that looks good. Get the light back up here where you can see. All right. So I've got a 45, a 6-inch section of straight, 45 going into a 90. And I've shrunk that 90 down to where it will fit inside that factory air box. And that's all 3-inch. Schedule 20 thin wall. And I done took my cover here. I done put it up there and fit it in place. Everything's fitting. And I'm gonna pull it back out and glue my joints. But it's fitting in there so tight right now. I was wondering if I was gonna have to make some kind of a bracket or mount up here to hold it. But no, it's in there good and solid. I think that's gonna hold it. Especially if I get that rubber seal around the top up there at trim. All right, guys, another update later. Okay, guys, I've got that 45 shrunk, and the filter's on it. There she is. There she is. And all this is PVC glued together now. All one piece. My new snorkel system. I've done it in one evening. This actually didn't take too long. Once I got these shrunk, the fittings will shrink. I tried to shrink the tube. It's just too thin. It wrinkled. But where these are twice thicker than that, they wouldn't wrinkle. They would draw down. So now I'll take it out and paint it. That's my new pre-filter system. I seen them doing that on them Jackson turbos because, you know, the intercooler's over there where the airbox is. So something's got to go. So they took all that out. And they run the input pipe out here and had that very filter on it. And then I seen them running it later without one on it. I don't know why they'd pull a trick like that. But if that'll flow enough for a turbo, I think it'll do great on this thing. Like I said, my little trumpet here worked good. Here's another one I got extra. So I just heat up the end of this. Keep heating it with that heat gun. You'll feel it where I've done this flange like this. Done that so it'll just fall. You give it a little turn, it'll sink down in there. And I pull it back out and keep warming it and do it real slow till I get, you know, a little bit of it, about that much up, shrunk. And then I'll heat it all up real good, and I'll give it a turn and shove it in there, and it'll go all the way down. All the way down that line down there. Leave it in there for a few seconds. Move it a little bit so it don't get stuck. And then after it cools, pull it out. It worked. It cost me $5 for that. Bought that. He gave me the piece, leftover piece that they had, but he charged me to do this flaring. They flared this end to fit over the pipe, and then they flared this end a little bigger. And I was trying to get him to do this to it, and he never did understand me. So I come home and got my little torch out and warmed it up and curled it over. Oh, but that's it. But yeah, I think it looks good. Put my little piece of trim tube in there. That'll seal that air gap up, and it'll hold that solid. I think I will get me one of those water socks. Well guys, here's it is, finished product. You see I got my trim in there, my rubber trim. Now I put that in there so the filter wouldn't fall off. That's just to hold the filter on. A little self-tapping screw. Clamp's got it tight. There she is. Here's the inside. Got it all painted. I put a bracket on the back side. It's a self-tapping screw with a little wire bracket, and I've got it zip tied to that hole right there, to where that air tube used to connect to. So it's held in place with that zip tie, plus clamped here and tied up in here. So it ain't going nowhere. It ain't gonna rattle or nothing. And that's a pretty good looking job. Turned out good. Turned out good. Now, that's the proper way to put one of those on your air system. Not inside the air box, inside out. Because this is designed, it's got the red outer filter and the yellow inner filter. Air goes that way, not backwards. And I'll get me one of those pre-chargers, socks, those dry chargers, and put on it. There you go, guys. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like and a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel. See y'all later.